Hello and welcome to the Roasted and Barreled Review, our High Caf Holidays season, episode 2. Today we are reviewing Restoration Rye and Black Insomnia. We're also shortly going to be discussing how um how caffeine is measured in drinks and that kind of thing. So there really wasn't much to it with regards to measuring the caffeine. I've always kind of wondered like how people make these claims. Do they even know these claims about the caffeine content? And what I was able to basically Google is that caffeine is measured through a device called a. Let me see if I pull it up here. A device called ultraviolet. They use a method called ultraviolet spectroscopy. What it means is they'll take a sample and they'll shine a special ultraviolet light and whatever into a mirror, and whatever's not reflected back, the amount, that ratio will determine the caffeine content in the substance. There's a really cool video by this student called named Maximilian Dew, and he was able to perform an experiment where he got several household chemicals together, and without getting the ultraviolet spectroscopy machine, was able to show how to measure caffeine content. And when it comes out, it kind of comes out as this like yellowish brownish dust, and that will actually be the pure caffeine. Do not ingest it, but I will link in the description below the Maximilian's video, and it is pretty cool. Now on to the review. So first, Restoration Rye. This is a rye from the Castle and Key Distillery in Frankfort, Kentucky, but it feels like Lexington. It's just down the road from Woodford Reserve Distillery. Well, yeah, it's just you have to pass one to get to the other, and most often will pass Woodford to get to Castle and Key. But this Restoration Rye, I believe it's batch 3. This is a much more upfront rye. The taste rockets across the palate and across the sinuses. This one bites, but in a good way. There's a hint of orange flavoring. Definitely buy it. This is a very, very good rye. One of my favorites. It's a nice bottle. Now, you may not have heard of Castle and Key before, but if you're ever visiting Kentucky, you do need to go visit. It's a very pretty distillery. It is its prior owner was Colonel E.H. Taylor, and that was the old Taylor distillery. It fell into disrepair until a couple investors started up Castle and Key and started making whiskey and producing gins and vodkas just to get them by. Now they're producing ryes because ryes don't have the same standard as bourbon. They can be produced a little faster, but based on this rye, it is so good. I'm excited for things to come out of this distillery. Anyways, Black Insomnia coffee. This has that octane type taste that lets you know that there is high caffeine. It's smoother though than the other two, and I like it. It has a slight caramel taste to it. I barely got through one cup, and I am feeling buzzed from this one. This stuff is good. A definite buy. The pairing. This is good. It's got a pine needle taste, but in a good way. And when I say pine needle, like I've never actually tasted pine needles, but if you've ever gotten the smell, that's what's coming off this taste. Like this taste reminds you of that smell. Um, it is. This would be my ideal holiday pick. It gives you a buzz and it tastes good, but it's not gonna completely wreck you. Definitely a buy. Okay, that is the end of our episode 2. Thank you for listening. We have one more episode to go. We're into the Christmas rush. I hope you enjoyed this, and definitely look into these Black Insomnia Coffee and Restoration Rye. This would be a very good pick for your holidays. If you like the content, like and subscribe. And until next time, thank you for listening to the Roasted and Barreled Review.